Good afternoon, guys, and happy Tuesday to all of your sunshiny faces, guys. Today we got a good amount of snow. I know I was just talking about snow the other day and I was like, it feels weird. It feels like, you know, like it's not really like wintry kind of, just because like we've had snow not very often and like none in December almost at all. You know, but like we had snow today, but it didn't start snowing until late in the afternoon. And I think that's what I realized was that like we have gotten snow, but normally when it snows like at night and we wake up and we're like, oh, look at that, we got like a few inches of snow or whatever. But it normally hasn't snowed during the day. I think that's what I've kind of missed. Like we haven't had a lot, I guess, of those days where it like snows during the day and you're like, oh my gosh, look at how pretty the snowflakes are outside and all that kind of stuff. Like it's just been sort of, you know, like randomly a day or two that like there's snow, you know, and it's more like we wake up with the snow already. So we were supposed to get the big one, like the big snowstorm today. My mom's like, I think Jack's gonna have off school on Wednesday because, like, you know, or an e-learning day because they have their computers, so they like do it, their schoolwork like through the computers or whatever. So I guess it doesn't technically count as a snow day anymore, which is really interesting. So Matthew had them too because it was the same thing. They have like Chromebooks and stuff like that. So yeah, I guess that's how it works. Like I don't know if they still have to make the day up or if it's just like in addition to, so they don't fall behind in the lesson plan and stuff like that, or what goes on. But they're like, if they do have like a snow day, they're required to do their schoolwork, which I don't think Jack has had one so far. Maybe they had one for some reason, or Jack thought they were going to, but I don't know that they've actually had one yet, because like I said, we got snow on Halloween, that really bad snowstorm, and then like almost nothing else all the way through, well, maybe it snowed a little bit in November, and then nothing at all through December, and then a little bit here and there through January and February, but again, nothing too bad. But my mom was like, oh my gosh, it looks like it's gonna be so bad. So it started snowing when it was still like light out, maybe around 7 o'clock or 6 or something like that, so it was still like kind of sunny out. We could actually see the snow, and I was like, oh wow, like it was coming down pretty quickly in big chunks. And we were actually watching a movie, and then once it was over, I was like, it looks like the same amount of snow literally as when it started, like, and when we started watching the movie, was like, you know, and it was like 2 or 3 hours later. And it didn't look like there was much more. Like it looked like it had stopped. So I don't know if it's supposed to pick up again, but like that's kind of the thing, guys, was that again, we haven't had any of those days where it snowed like during the day and you can actually see the progression of the snow and stuff like that. Like it snowed mostly at night every day this year that it snowed, which is again kind of weird. So yeah, like I said, we were supposed to get like a big snowstorm, but I told you guys like, oh, we're supposed to get a really big snowstorm, we're supposed to get a really big snowstorm and stuff like that, and it's like, no, actually it's not. So I don't know what it's doing right now. I'll probably update you guys and let you guys know tomorrow what it looks like outside, if they're even, like if it doesn't melt by tomorrow. But yeah, it was supposed to, I think it was actually supposed to snow also yesterday, but I guess it didn't. And I don't know how long it's supposed to keep snowing. So the really weird thing is though, we actually had like the blinds open in the living room while we were watching the movie, and not once did I see like, you know, the lights from any snow plows or anything like that. And I was like, it's really weird. But honestly, as soon as it was hitting the street, it looked like it was melting because it's so warm out. You know, like it was sticking to pretty much the grass and stuff like that, but I feel like the pavement, because like, I don't know, it's darker and stuff like that, it's just, and because like, I don't know, the ground freezes faster maybe, but for whatever reason, it's like, you know, doesn't stick normally to the pavement and stuff like that, which is funny though, because I think it did happen once this year where nothing was sticking to the ground and everything was sticking to the pavement. So all the sidewalks, and maybe I showed you guys in one of the videos, but all the sidewalks in the streets like looked like completely white, like they had just been like repaved, and all of the grass was still like green, like it had just like, it was really weird and bizarre looking, because like I said, normally it's the opposite way. So like I looked outside and I was like, the snows look like, or the streets look like they were plowed, but clearly like we didn't see anything that was going down our streets like the snow plows or anything. So I mean, I'm sure they've been out, but it was just weird. that we didn't see anything in those 3 hours while it was snowing. But anyways, guys, so I did get to some stuff today. I edited one vlog. I also got to some dishes, but I was just not feeling great today. My back has been like killing me today. My stomach was also not feeling the greatest either today. But guys, the one thing that my dad actually came into my room, and yesterday when I was watching the Cubs game maybe or something like that, I was telling you guys, he finally got my remote fixed. And so not my remote, but I was using the old, for our AT&T, I was using the old remote that originally, when we first got AT&T, the thing's probably like 10 years old. But I have like almost never dropped it or anything like that, so it still worked perfectly fine. Like the one in the living room was completely busted that we had to get a universal remote, so we could just also do the TV, because the TV remote was starting to get broken and the buttons on the TV were also broken. So we had no way like of turning the TV off at one point. We just had to wait for like the timer for it to go off on its own, because it was like so bad. So my mom finally got a universal remote. But I was telling you guys, I think when we first got this, I didn't want to like start using it because I'm kind of scared of technology. And not scared of technology, I actually think technology is awesome and I really like it, and I'm actually like, I feel like kind of smart when it comes to technology. Like I can figure things out, you know, but if I'm like, oh, this isn't working, like why isn't it working, and you know, play around with stuff, and eventually I'll probably figure it out. But I hate like switching things that I'm not accustomed to using, because the one problem on this remote is these two buttons right here. This is like the record and the guide button. I normally hit the guide button to like, you know, I'm going to look to see today what channel the Hawks game was on. I hit the recordings button because it's almost in the same place as the guide button, whereas on the old remote it used to be like up at the top, I think, or something like that. And so I keep going and hitting that button automatically because I just had the other remote memorized, because again, it was like 10 years, so I never had to look at it. So I kept hitting that like all day today, and I was like, this is getting so frustrated because again, I'm just so accustomed to using it, and like I couldn't figure it out. But the nice thing is that actually it works for both my TV and for my cable box, so I can use it like as an all-in-one, sort of like a universal remote, which is how the old one with my old TV used to be before I got the newer, not this new one, but the newer one, I guess. The one that I gave to Matthew before I got the smart TV, which is still, like, it doesn't work for all the smart TV things, so I still have to use my actual TV remote. But like at night when I'm watching cable, I can just like turn it off or change the sound or, you know, whatever, just use it on that. But if I am using the what's it called, the TV remote for the smart TV portion of it, I still have to use that, and I can't use the cable remote that I know of. Like, but anyways, I can still change the volume and the TV input and, like, you know, change the channel and stuff like that, which is good if I do lose the other remote. But you know, or misplace it or something like that, at least I can still get the TV turned off. Again, it does have buttons, so you could still do that. But you know, like I said, it's useful now that it's kind of like an all-in-one sort of thing. But yeah, so I told you guys, so I was like, I'm super scared to start using it because I was like, you know, there's like new buttons on here and like things are kind of, again, in a different place and stuff like that. So it's kind of the same, like for the most part, everything's sort of in the same place. But again, I normally use it without even looking at the remote, and I kept hitting the wrong thing today. I was like, this is great, because like I said, I'm just not used to using it. But I'm sure I'll get used to it very quickly, just like I did with the other one. But yeah, it was, my dad was like, oh my gosh, this is so easy, I just did it with ours, because I guess they lost theirs for their room, or it got broken or something like that. So my dad was like, I need to borrow your remote the other day, and borrowed my old remote. And so I was like, why don't you guys have the new remote, can't you just use that? And he's like, yeah, but I haven't programmed it yet. So they got it, so now again they can turn off their TV, which they never did because they would always lose the TV remote. And I don't even know if their TV has buttons, and if it does, I can never find find them because I walk in their room, guys, and all the time their TV is on, and I can't find, like, I'm going to do laundry to go and get the laundry basket, and I'm like, oh my gosh, why is the television on in here? Nobody's even in here. And a lot of times too, the cable box will turn off and their TV is still on. Like, it won't even turn off over a certain period of time. And I was like, at least, guys, like, set that so that, like, you know, if you do forget or you leave it on accident or something like that, it turns itself off. You know, like a timer thing, or like, you know, in the settings or whatever. Like, I think that's like an energy efficient like mode or something, which is really weird because I noticed my TV does that too, because I think I have it in like energy efficient mode or whatever. But if it gets too bright, I think it dims itself. It's like really weird, but there's like a certain commercial that I've noticed it on. It always does that, where it dims and then like goes back to like being bright once the commercial's over, and you can see the transition. Is really weird. I think that's what it's from, but I noticed that too with my old TV because I had it in the same mode also, which even though it wasn't the exact same brand, but I think that's why. So anyways, they don't have that on their TV, and so that's what really frustrates me. But now that they have their remote all set up, because my dad set it up like I said yesterday, and then he came in my room and was like, ooh, can I do your remote? And I was like, yeah, go ahead, knock yourself out. So he got it all set up, but like I said, but now I'm kind of scared of it and have been not dreading using it, but just you know, I've been getting frustrated because I was like, oh my gosh, I hit the wrong button. I'm like, great, now I gotta wait for the, you know, cable to load or something like that, whatever I hit. That was the wrong button, and then I'm like, okay, now I gotta make sure I hit the right one so I don't hit the wrong thing again. So yeah, like I said, just gotta get used to it. But anyways, guys, yeah, I'll let you guys know probably tomorrow if we even have any snow, or maybe even if Jack's home from school tomorrow if it keeps snowing. But I don't know if it's supposed to like let up and then keep snowing really bad again. But my mom kept going on and on too. She's like, ooh, I listened to this really good weatherman and he's almost always right, and he said, you know, it's supposed to be the worst one of this year and stuff like that. And I was like, maybe, but like honestly, I felt like the worst snow we got was actually the one on Halloween, which is really weird, but I felt like we got the most snow, and I think it lasted for the longest. Like, I mean, we've gotten snow here and there, but I felt like it's kind of piled up. I felt like the Halloween snow was like the most snow we got over the shortest period of time that like lasted for the longest amount of time. Because we'll like maybe get a couple inches and then like maybe an inch or two like bounce away, and then we'll get a couple more, so like it stacks up a little bit. But I felt like we haven't gotten a lot of snow that has lasted for like a really long time or anything like that, like so far this year, other than again that random Halloween that we got snow. So I don't know how tomorrow's supposed to look, but I'll let you guys know, and I will see you guys all in tomorrow's vlog. If you guys did enjoy today's, make sure you guys give a big old thumbs up. If you guys are new, we'd love it if you'd subscribe, and I'll see all of your sunshiny faces tomorrow. So bye, guys.